All right, so we're diving deep into car tires today. Our listener wants to know the essential facts about how long tires last and how to stay safe. We've got a ton of research here, articles, guides, the whole shebang.
Awesome. Yeah, tires are so important, but a lot of folks don't give them the attention they deserve.
You got that right. And we're lucky to have you here, a real tire pro, to help us break down the most important stuff. One thing that surprised me while prepping for this deep dive is that tires actually have an expiry date.
Yeah, that's a big one. Not a lot of people realize tires actually age, even if they're just sitting around.
Okay, so how can our listener figure out how old their tires are?
Easiest way is to check the GOT code on the tire sidewall. The last four digits tell you the week and the year it was made.
So if I see 4223, that means week 42 of 2023.
Bingo. Now, you might be thinking, wait, why does age matter if the tread looks good?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself.
Well, see, the rubber compounds in tires, they break down over time, start to crack, and they just don't perform as well. Most manufacturers recommend replacing them after 6 years, no matter how much tread's left.
Wow, good to know, especially if you're buying a used car. You can't just go by tread alone.
Absolutely. And that whole thing about tires lasting for a certain mileage, like 25,000 or 50,000
Yeah,
kilometers.
some articles even said 75,000.
Yeah, see, it's not that straightforward. It's more complicated than just mileage.
So why is there such a big difference in those estimates?
A whole bunch of factors come into play. How you drive, what kind of vehicle you have, the roads you're on, even the weather. Things like driving hard, heavy loads, driving on underinflated tires, all that puts stress on your tires and wears them down faster.
So there's no magic number, huh?
Nope, gotta look at the bigger picture.
Okay, makes sense. Now let's talk about tread depth. We know there's a legal minimum, but what about for, like, optimal safety?
Legally, you gotta have at least 1.0 millimeters of tread. But to really stay safe, especially when it's wet out there, you want to aim for at least 3 millimeters.
So those few extra millimeters really can make a difference.
Big time. Could be the difference between stopping in time and, well, you get the picture.
Yeah.
And don't forget about that spare tire.
Oh, right. Does that mean the spare needs to be checked too?
Absolutely. Pressure checks, age checks, the whole 9 yards. Can't just assume it's ready to go if you need it.
Man, imagine getting a flat and then realizing your spare's too old. Talk about a bad day.
Right. Better safe than sorry. And, here in South Africa, Bridgestone and Firestone offer this tire damage guarantee.
Yeah, I saw that mentioned in some of the research. What's the deal with that?
Basically, it covers you if your tire gets damaged by stuff on the road, like potholes or debris. And get this, you only got to pay for the tread that's been used up.
Oh, wow, that could save you a lot of money, especially with the roads we have.
For sure. Now, one thing that I've seen some back and forth on is tire rotation.
Yeah, some sources say you got to do it. Others say it's not really necessary. What's your take?
Well, rotating your tires can help them wear down more evenly, but then you might end up needing to replace all four at the same time. It's really a case-by-case thing. Best to chat with a tire expert and see what they recommend for your situation.
So personalized advice is key. Makes sense. Now, let's move on to some other important tire facts our listeners should keep in mind. Okay, how about we tackle some tire myths? Like that thing about adjusting tire pressure when the weather changes.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. Lots of people think they gotta let some air out when it's hot or pump them up when it's cold. Not true.
Hold on, I thought hot weather makes the pressure go up.
It does, but tires are built to handle those changes. Just stick to the pressure recommended in your owner's manual or on the sticker inside the driver's side door.
So no more messing with the air pump at the petrol station every time the temperature changes.
Exactly. Saves you time and hassle. Now, another thing that can throw people off is the DOT code on older tires.
Right, a few articles mention that. What's the difference?
So, tires made before the year 2000, they use a 3-digit DOT code instead of four. Still tells you the week and year, but you got to factor in the decade.
Gotcha. So a code like 159 would be from the 15th week of 1999.
Spot on. Important to note that when you're checking the age of those older tires, okay, let's talk speed ratings. You see those on tires, especially for sporty cars, but what do they really mean for everyday driving?
Yeah, I've always wondered about that. Does it mean you should be driving at that speed?
Not necessarily. The speed rating tells you the max speed a tire can handle safely for a while, but it's not like a suggestion to go that fast out on the road.
So it's more about what the tire can do, not what you should do.
Exactly. Safety first, always stick to the speed limit. Now, speaking of safety, let's talk about part-worn tires. They're cheaper, sure, but are they worth the risk?
Some sources definitely highlighted some dangers with those. What are your thoughts?
I'd steer clear, honestly. You just don't know their history, how they were treated, if there's any hidden damage lurking inside.
So it's like a gamble you don't want to take.
Precisely. New tires from a reputable brand and dealer, that's the way to go. And speaking of safety features, there's this thing called TPMS, Tire Pressure Monitoring System.
Oh yeah, saw that mentioned. What does it do?
Pretty neat system, actually. It uses sensors to keep tabs on the pressure in each tire. If one gets too low, a warning light pops up on your dashboard.
Like an early warning system for tire pressure problems. What if your car doesn't have TPS though?
No worries. You can always check the pressure yourself with a manual gauge. Every driver should have one.
And how often should you be checking?
Once a month is ideal. Good habit to get into. All right, let's chat about run flat tires. They've gotten pretty popular, but I'm sure there are pros and cons.
Yeah, I was curious about those. Sounds convenient, but I figure there's got to be a trade-off somewhere.
You're right. The big plus is they let you drive for a bit, even after a puncture. Huge for safety, especially if you're in a dicey situation.
No more changing tires on the side of the road in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Downside is they cost more than regular tires, and the ride can be a bit rougher. Plus, they might not work with every vehicle.
So, got to weigh the pros and cons carefully.
Absolutely. And before we move on, one last thing I want to stress. Your tires, they're the only thing connecting your car to the road. How they're doing, it really impacts your safety and how your car drives.
That's a powerful way to put it.
So look after your tires. Check them regularly, keep them in good shape, and if you've got any questions, talk to a tire expert.
Great advice. Well, I think our listener has gotten a whole tire education from this deep dive. They know how to check tire age, how to assess tread depth, they understand how their driving habits affect things, and they can make smart choices about maintenance and repairs.
I hope so. It's all about giving drivers the knowledge to stay safe out there.
And to our listener, remember, well-maintained tires, they're an investment in your safety and your peace of mind. Drive safe out there. Wow, we covered a lot of ground, from DOT codes to tread depth, tire pressure to speed ratings, you name it. I think our listener is ready to handle any tire situation now.
Hope so. It's really amazing how just knowing a few key things can make such a difference for your safety and how long your tires last.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, if you're ever unsure about something or have a question, a good tire professional is your best bet for advice.
Couldn't agree more. They can help you pick the right tires, make sure they're installed right, keep them maintained, and answer any questions you might have.
So don't be afraid to reach out to those experts when it comes to your tires. That's what they're there for. Well, I think we've successfully navigated the world of tires in this deep dive. A huge thank you to you for lending your expertise and making this kind of complicated topic so easy to understand.
Happy to help. It's always great to share this info and help drivers make smart choices about their tires.
And to our listener, we hope you found this deep dive useful and interesting. Remember, taking care of your tires is super important for your safety, how well your car performs, and your peace of mind out on the road. Drive safe.